Hello and welcome to another episode of In Conversation with Colton. This week I'm with half of VENUS GRRRLS. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, look at them. We're all masked up, we're all socially distant. I mean, I've not got a mask on, I am sorry. Actually, I've got one. I'm going to put it on because you should really adhere to it and I don't want to set a bad example.
It's alright, we're all socially distant.
I know. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Now nobody can say a thing. So, your biggest release, well, it got released yesterday. Goth Girl got spin on Radio X last night. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so a song came out yesterday, and it was a really exciting day, wasn't it? It was,
We celebrated very well last night.
We did. We had a Zoom call last night and just had a drink together and whatnot, and just kind of celebrated the release. It was a bit of a weird release day though, because usually we'd have been doing a launch show or something.
Being together at least.
Yeah. So it was bizarre that, for the first time that wasn't happening. But, it was still a good day, and it was obviously great to get the Radio X play from John Kennedy and stuff. So, it was a really nice day, and it's been a long time coming, I think, the song, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's taken us a while to get it out because of the pandemic. So we were just really happy to get it out there, despite not being able to gig and stuff. So.
If it's been in the works for a while, were you kind of thinking, we'll wait for things to calm down, then we'll release it, but things never calmed down?
We had a big discussion about when to release it, how long to wait, all that. Yep.
Yeah, it was a whole process. I mean, because the song's been written for a year and a half. It's been, and obviously we wanted to record it early last year, but then that all, couldn't happen obviously. And so we were going to wait longer, but then we were like, God, we don't know when this is going to end. What are we supposed to do? Just be radio silent for another year?
No, that's not what anybody wants.
So we were like, nah, let's just do it and roll with it. And it's
Glad
been really
we did,
good.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you've kept the ball rolling 100% because you put out on your YouTube, which I will link below because everybody needs to check it out, a whole live session of wicked things. So how was it getting that out there? Did you have to plan a long time for it, or?
Yeah, it was planned months in advance. I mean, we shot that the same weekend we recorded Goth Girl. We had to do it all in one weekend, obviously because we couldn't be doing multiple bouts of travelling and stuff. But this was during the summer when things were a lot, the rates were a lot lower and stuff. So we were obviously very careful and we had to pick our time very wisely. But we just went into a little recording kind of studio and did it, and just did it all live. And it was, we wanted something to kind of coincide with Wicked things coming out last April as well, because obviously we weren't able to gig that either.
Yeah.
So we needed something else to market. If we couldn't do a gig, we could do a live session. So.
And what's your sort of style and sound? Not to pigeonhole you, but if people haven't heard of you before, I mean they will after this, but how would you describe your energy?
I mean, we're inspired by Riot Girl, but I wouldn't say we sounded like a Riot Girl band in many ways. There's definitely elements of it within it, but I'd say,
speaking about this the other day, we've all got different backgrounds of music and similar tastes, but other parts are different as well. So we all bring something different that creates what we
sound like.
Yeah.
I would say the closest thing would just be alt rock. I would say. But with a strong kind of female voice behind it, as a band. I don't mean just my voice.
Oh yes.
No, I don't mean my voice. I mean a strong female voice, with all five of us being women and stuff.
Yeah. Not to blow your own trumpet or
No,
anything like that.
that's not what I'm saying.
Well,
That came out so wrong.
Don't worry, it's fine. You've got to be a tiny little bit narcissistic.
I'm so
to,
sorry. That
don't
came
be
out
silly.
so wrong. I meant a strong female vibe. That would be a bit better.
You get that as well because on your videos when you post them on YouTube, you do a little hashtag girls can. So it's women empowerment, a strong thing for you to portray.
Absolutely. I mean, we're flying that torch 100%, and we just want to kind of aid towards the kind of credibility and acceptance of women in the rock genre and stuff. Because we still get really bizarre comments sometimes,
You know how sound works, right?
Yeah, literally.
You know how-
you know,
it
sound
bounces off a
bounces
wall.
off walls, and it's just like sound engineers have said the most bizarre things to us, like
Do you know? Yeah,
you
go
know,
on.
explaining how our mics work to us, explaining how our amps work to us.
Men-
What was
Mansplaining.
that
Yeah.
thing with Grace about plugging a synth in
Yeah,
to
so
the DIs?
so when we played a gig once, this was a long time ago. Our synth player Gracie, she plugged her synth into the DI box, which is, you know, you need to plug it into the DI so that it comes out, right?
Yeah.
And she did it herself, and the engineer was like, "What have you done?" She was like, "I've plugged it into the DI box," and he was like, "Oh," and he just couldn't believe that she had plugged her own synth into her DI box. And Gracie has
she's
got a production
degree
degree.
in
Oh,
production.
it's
Yeah.
madness.
You know, she produces her own music and everything like that. Like, this girl knows how to plug her synth in.
Oh,
So
it
it's-
must be a thing with sound engineers. I don't know if you've heard of the Sheffield band, the Sea Monsters, but
I
they
have,
said
yeah.
they said that because I did an interview with them recently for like a women empowerment magazine, and they were saying that sound engineers, not to stereotype, but sound engineers are the worst because they've had a similar experience, and it's like,
Yeah,
why?
It's just bizarre. Like, it's unfair that that's the kind of, you know, tone of surprise, I think, is the way to put it. Like, you know, there's people that have said to us, like, you were actually really good. It's like, what?
As if they'd expect you. I mean, look at them, for God's sake. What do you mean? But yeah, I wanted to talk to you like about how you've kind of got through lockdown as a band. So I know that you've sort of waited forever to put Goth Girl out, but off your Wicked Things EP, You're Alright, I Guess. You did like sort of like a lockdown compilation
Yeah.
video. So
Yeah.
again, did that take a long time to comprise, or?
It didn't take too.
We put the post out and then set like a
A
deadline.
deadline, yeah.
So then we knew.
We gave everyone about 2 weeks,
Yeah,
I
it was,
think.
it was about 2 weeks.
And it was, and we just had like a Google Drive, and people could just, you know, upload their
Yeah.
thing into it. And it was great to see everyone's videos coming through. Like, it was so nice to see people partaking in a very different way, you know, than usually would. But it was just really wholesome, I think, doing that.
Yeah.
Really nice, and we were really grateful to kind of.
That
Yeah,
people
everyone came
submitted.
forward. Yeah, the people came forward. We were like, "Oh God, we're gonna get one submission." No one's
Oh
gonna do
no,
anything."
don't be silly.
But no, like, it was really nice to see all of our, you know, our friends and you know, music friends and
Yeah.
family friends and friends
And
of
some
friends.
people we don't even know was
Yeah,
submitting,
yeah.
it was
Fans.
I still can't say. I can't say our fans. Like, I can't
You
say
need
it.
to come up with like a band name that is just like for you, for them. Do you know, like, what does Taylor Swift have, or
Oh,
Ariana
yeah.
Grande has Arinators, or
Yeah,
Lady
yeah.
Gaga has Little Monsters? You
Yeah.
need, like, I don't know. I can't think on the spot, and I don't want to waste time because this is important. The first video, because I fully stalked you from start to finish, the first video that you put on YouTube was Deranged.
Oh dear.
And I want to know though, because you do have a really gorgeous, striking style, and I just wondered what the reaction was when you first put that out, because I don't know what your backstories are with secondary school, like whether or not, you know, you would weren't encouraged to get into music, or the people that might not have thought you'd got it in you would be like, whoa, geez, the new superstar on the block. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we were at uni. We were all at uni together. It was Leeds College of Music at the time, but it's now Leeds Conservatoire, it's called. And there wasn't like so much a negative reaction to us. It was just, I don't think people quite knew what to think about it.
Interesting.
It was just very like, oh, like, you know, and I remember even some tutors saying to me, like, we haven't had an all-girl band in like years, you know, and it was just like why? Like, why not? It was just bizarre that, you know, there just seems to be this kind of like, oh, why is that still shocking in, you know, 2020 or 2019 or 2021 or whatever? Like, why was that still so, like, you know, hard to process? And I think people very wanted to kind of put us in that bracket of, oh, well, if they're all girls and they have to be super punky and super, like, you know, we had to exist in that bracket, and that very much was what we were going to do at first, but we strayed away from it. And I just, you know, of course there was some negative reactions. I mean, that's kind of what Deranged is about, you know. It's about kind of people not understanding, you know, certain people not understanding, you know, why we were doing what we were doing and stuff like that. So Deranged very much was like our way of saying, like, we're doing this and we don't care what you think, sort of thing, you know.
Talk to me about the little symbol you've got on your eye. Is it the sex symbol for
Yeah,
females?
it's the Venus symbol, yeah. I don't know why. I started doing that a long time before Venus ever came about. I remember the first time I did it. It was in first year in uni, and I just fancied doing it. I don't know why.
Why not?
And I just haven't stopped doing it since.
Yeah, I just associate that with you now.
I just do it every
You
day.
take your makeup off, but you always leave that there. Like even in the shower, like it doesn't.
Yeah, people are like, oh my god, is that a tattoo? I'm like,
Get it
"No,
tattooed.
Oh,
No, if it's there, then it stops you from doing it all the time.
Yeah, I've considered it, but I don't know if I haven't got any tattoos, so I think I'd be
you?
pretty bold to get a face tattoo as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't go down the Post Malone route. That's a bit random. Talk to me about how much you're missing gigging then, because I know that's me putting words in your mouth, but my goodness, like you must be missing it.
No.
There aren't words to explain how much we miss it. Well, me personally,
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
of us,
All of us. We're just. It's like sometimes we just don't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and I was saying to the girls, like when lockdown first happened last March and stuff, we had a whole tour booked in for the April, and obviously all the dates were like cemented in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, when it got to April, I would like remember that we had a gig, and I'd like panic, I'd be like, oh my god, like we need to go and rehearse. And it would like be this like thing where I should be somewhere right now. But then I'd be like, oh wait, no, it's all cancelled.
That's
you
so
know.
sad.
Would never have thought it would take even this long.
No.
Like
No,
I
I
thought
know.
back then, like when lockdown first was happening, I thought, oh, end of the year, we'll be back. It's like it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
A year later, we're still here.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you have to say about the mess that musical artists are in at the moment in terms of like you've kind of been left to your own devices by the
Yeah.
government?
It's really rough. It kind of just highlights the kind of cracks in the delicate system of like, you know, there's definitely a huge gap in between local artists and you know the arts in general, you know, and it kind of just shows that they're not seen as working people.
Yeah.
It's just this hobby, you know, and it's like no,
It's not your
like
life, it's your life.
it's your complete life. It's, you know, what we want to do. It's what we want to earn a living from. You know, we just all we've said as a band, we just want to earn a living, sustainable income. That's all we could ever ask for.
You're on the way
you
though,
know.
honestly. It might feel like you're a bit stuck in the mud now, and I know it doesn't mean much off me because
No,
like
it
who
means
am
a
I?
lot,
But
yeah.
honestly, you really are on your way. Like I just think, didn't you get a play off BBC Introducing the other day?
Yeah, we've been played on BBC Tees and BBC, because Gracie, our synth player, she's from Hartlepool area, so Teesside pick us up a little bit, and I'm from Hertfordshire, and so's Jess, our guitarist. So BBC Beds, Hearts and Bucks pick us up a little bit as well. And BBC Tees had a national meeting with the other introducings, I think, and they passed Goth Girl onto BBC Suffolk. So
Oh my goodness.
BBC Suffolk gave it a spin, so that was really nice. Angela Joseph is BBC Suffolk presenter, and she said some really nice words about us, so that was really kind. And BBC Tees have just championed us from the start, and it's been so wonderful to kind of get their support and get them behind us, you know,
Of
like it's meant
course.
so much. The same with BBC Beds, Hearts and Bucks, like they've all been so incredible, and you know, we couldn't have done anything, you know, even remotely close to what the little dent in the industry we've made, the tiny little one, without them,
you need
know.
the talent to do it, and that's what you've got. Talk to me about what is coming up for you this year, because obviously you might have had so much stuff planned that isn't going to go ahead, but how are you going to compensate that?
Yeah, like we had our whole year planned out, and we were supposed to be in the studio a few days ago, but obviously that's all been rescheduled now to later on in the year. We've got loads of plans for more music. It's just a case of when and getting it recorded. You know, it's been really hard to get into the studio, like really, really hard, because obviously it's, you know, you need not only all 5 members of the band, but the producers are there as well, and you're all, you know, it's hard to do socially distanced, put it that way, you know. So we very much kind of flown back.
I'm just advertising for Bannatyne Spa. Duncan Bannatyne off Dragon's Den, here you go. I love your spa in Birmingham, it's great. I've been once, I got like slippers from it and all sorts, so yeah. I'm just a walking advertisement. No, I'm joking. Sorry, as you were saying, it's difficult to get in the studio, and I honestly, from my perspective, like I started this series out of lockdown to, you know, support artists during the pandemic and things, but I couldn't imagine with it being your actual livelihood to have that on pause. Like
it was rough. Like it's definitely taken some getting used to, and I don't think something we'll ever fully adjust to. Like, you know, it's up and down, to be honest. Speaking for myself personally, like I'm sure the rest of the girls will agree. Like some days it's like, oh, okay, like we can, you know, we'll just power through. We can do this. And other days, like, honestly,
When's it gonna end?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
I
kind of this like
know.
never ending. We're hoping that, you know, this is the last lockdown with the vaccine and everything. You know, we're
Yeah.
hoping that this is like, you know, the beginning of the end now.
Yeah.
But then when you get a notification on your phone, Glastonbury's been cancelled.
Yeah.
I
It's
know!
like,
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually never been to a festival. I'm a festival virgin, which is like shock horror admission because
Yeah.
everybody's been to festivals, and I wish I'd gone to one, but I just, you know, when you like haven't got round to it, it's like, how have you not got round to going to a
Yeah.
festival? But I just haven't. Have you ever played at a festival or wanted to try to get on a lineup before?
Well, like, we were supposed to play live at Leeds last year, but obviously that didn't happen.
Oh my! I feel gutted for you.
But there was, we better not really say much, but we were booked for another substantial festival that unfortunately obviously couldn't go ahead, so we're not sure what's going to happen with that. But we'll see in
Well,
due
when you
course.
watch this back in a year's time and you've actually performed at that festival, I'll be like, oh my gosh, again. I was just telling them before, I've interviewed Leona and Chanel Yates off The Voice, and I sat with them and I went, so what's coming up for you? And they were like, yeah, a bit of new music. I'm like, you're on effing telly, what's going on? So I'll let that one slip, but this might be another one that I'm going to refer to in like some time.
Well, I hope so.
Well, yeah, you will. It will be rather. Before I let you go, let everybody know how they can stream your music, how they can find you on social media.
So we're at Venus Girls on all of our social media, including Spotify, Apple Music. These are all the major streaming platforms. But Venus Girls is spelled Venus Girls GRRLS. So drop the I, add in 3 R's.
Wow,
That's how you
easily
find
done.
us.
And I wish you the best of luck with Goth Girl because it's already blowing up and it's literally been out like one day.
Oh, thank you so much. No, we really appreciate, you know, chatting to us. It's been really lovely to come out and do,
Yeah,
do
in
something.
the rain.
Interaction.
I know. Something to post on your socials. Well, thanks so much, girls.
Thank you.